On December 21st, 1961, the Cooper family dropped their 4-year-old disabled son Jerry at his grandparents' house and went on Christmas shopping. They were planning to come back when the stores were closed. The residence was located at Somerville, Georgia, close to a mountain. Jerry was playing in the yard during the time his parents were shopping. Everything was going well until 10 p.m. when Jerry's grandparents went to the yard to check on the boy, but they couldn't find him. They started yelling the boy's name and then notified his neighbors and Jerry's parents of what's going on. Soon after, the sheriff was called and they showed up in no time. The grandparents of Jerry did find his leg brace, which he wore on his club foot on his left leg. The brace allowed him to walk correctly. The sheriff brought bloodhound dogs to find Jerry's scent, but they didn't pick up anything. A bit after the dogs arrived, it started to rain. After the first night, the sheriff didn't rule out foul play and notified FBI to enter the case. The FBI showed up and was monitoring the case, but they didn't make any statements. The FBI don't enter a case unless they have evidence that a crime has been committed. Over 200 volunteers came to help with the search. 2 nights passed and they still hadn't found the boy. But on the 3rd day, one searcher named Zach Warren was on the mountain ranges looking for Jerry. This mountain elevation reaches to 800 feet. Zach was halfway up when he suddenly saw the 4-year-old Jerry in a small creek. He ran towards him and grabbed him. He was alive but soaked in water. The boy was half naked and he wasn't talking. They took him to hospital, which he made full recovery. He never said anything about his 2 nights in the woods. How Jerry was able to walk without his braced leg and walk the distance he did. And why would he do it without his brace leg? We will never know. On November 25th, 1994, 2-year-old Naomi Lee Whedon was with his 2 sisters, both under age 5, and his father in the mountains of Chattahoochee National Forest. The family parked their car at an old logging trail that goes uphill from the parking area. They started hiking uphill and continued for 1.5 miles. Then they stopped at some point and the kids started playing. Mr. Whedon was watching the kids and looking for animal signs when suddenly he realized he hadn't seen Naomi for a while. The family started looking for her and after not having any luck, they contacted authorities. Search team showed up the first day and went deep into the forest at night looking for the girl with no success. 24 hours after Naomi disappeared, a search team was at the outer areas of the search perimeter when they came across a large log. When they looked down, they saw Naomi lying face down in wet mud and leaves. She was not moving. One of the searchers picked up the girl and she started moaning. She was cold and her temperature was very low. They took the girl to their search outpost, which was 1 mile from the spot they found the girl. From there, they took her to hospital and she fully recovered. The question is why the girl didn't respond to searchers earlier if she was only 1 mile away from the search outpost. And if she was by herself, why would she go face down on a wet mud in a swamp? She could have stayed in a dry area to be found. We will never know what really went on the night Naomi went missing. The Stella family lived on a farm in San Benito, Texas. There are lots of farms and bodies of water in this location. On January 9, 1963, 2-year-old Gloria was playing in the yard of the residence when suddenly she vanished. The family started yelling and looking for the girl, but they couldn't find her. They were baffled where she went because there are no large trees around the farm and all the lands around the residence were flat farms. The family immediately notified the law enforcement and they showed up with lots of aerial support to look for the girl. The search group went to rest after a full day of searching and returned back in the morning of the next day. At around 10 a.m. on the second day of the search, a pilot named Charles McCumber and Jack Seclen spotted the girl from the helicopter and sent ground troops to recover her. She was found 1 mile from her residence. She was alive and in a good condition despite being out for 16 hours. What really baffled the searchers was the location they found the girl. For the girl to reach the spot they found him, she had to pass through a very deep drainage ditch. This was even hard to do as an adult man wearing boots. If the girl was in the area on the first day, the helicopters that were in the air should have been able to see the girl since all the lands in these locations are flat and there is nowhere to hide. The ground searchers never thought the girl could pass that ditch to reach where she was found. There is no information about Gloria's experience during the time she was gone.